So, first up on the list, we have got the Grammys. Yes, the Grammys. Listen, everybody came out in their various outfits, but we all know that this particular outfit here was a bit crazy. Like, what the hell was Kanye West and Bianca actually thinking when they turned up at the Grammys dressed like a bodyguard and his pimped out hoe? Hey, users and subscribers, welcome back to A Touch of Class with HTK. And we have one woolly but things we catch up about.
If you know comfortable, cause we talk up the things them. Nobody stay but cause we not back from them. We full of speech, but we don't come for fool them. Lift up the knowledge, cause we they are for school.
So, everybody is in an uproar after Kanye West and Bianca Censori turned up in their latest publicity stunt at the Grammys. I am talking about literally a bare dressed, a bare bodied mini dress, which left nothing to the imagination. And they turned up there as though they were making some kind of statement. Now, Kanye West is 47 years old, and Bianca is actually a 30-year-old woman. So, while it is that there is a considerable age difference between the two of them, and the press is trying to make Kanye West out to be some big bad wolf, that has basically dominated and controlled this woman. And I'm not saying an element of control is not there, based on the previous stories we've heard about his exes. But this is a grown ass woman being allowed to make an absolute fool of herself in public. It is so distasteful, so disgusting. When may I tell you, say you could have seen the split? Father God, I don't really know how else to put it into words other than all I saw was pum pum and everything else. You understand? There was no dress. The dress was not dressing. Okay. Um, now, this appalling move. It is rumored that they were asked to leave, and some people even said that there were police escorts that told them to leave the event. But I suspect that Kanye and his barely there wife was actually made the decision to leave on their own. Okay, they were actually very upset that they were not able to wreak more havoc inside, um, because they were made to feel so uncomfortable that they could not remain. Now, I don't know if this was some kind of desperate drive for attention because Kanye West seems to not be getting the center stage anymore. And he's using his wife as a method of doing so. But I'd like to know, where is your willpower, Bianca, in the midst of all of this? If people are claiming that Kanye is the one that's manipulating you, absolutely nobody on this earth would, I don't care how much money you have, you could never manipulate me to walk outside butt naked. You could never get me to walk outside butt naked in a piece of saran wrap. And at least saran wrap, when you wrap it more than one time, it kind of distort things. This thing was literally like cobweb on your body. It was embarrassing to say the least. Absolutely embarrassing. Now, I'm sorry, no matter how much it is that you guys are trying to convince the public that Kanye West is the monster, purely probably because he's a black male with a white female, you're trying to tell me that this big 30-year-old Taforam woman don't know says she get treated like an idiot for do something about it? She is there literally like a doll being led around, yeah, or rather even worse, like a little dog, one of them dog there, them exotic dog there, just being led around by Kanye West to do whatever, right? Come on, man, modern day slavery is not a thing that you should be accepting, right? And I'm sorry, when I saw the after shot video with you guys licking each other and you looking a little bit like the aggressor, I am not that convinced that you under any kind of Kanye spell, right? I mean, do better, man. It was disgusting. And guys, look at the picture. There is a picnic in the background. Look at the picnic. See picnic? Like you must say, wait, a chun chun that me a lupan? Listen, you guys had no sense of social responsibility at all. You are out in public with your bare body in the face of a minor. Hmm? Not caring. I don't even know what the minor was doing there. But I mean, just the fact that one could be there and he taking it all in. Yes. The man has see everything well early. What is that going to do to his young and fragile and impressionable mind? Hmm? Passing through these things like it is normality. It's absolutely sickening. And this is the kind of stuff that breeds those P. Diddy's and C. Diddy's out there. Yeah, this kind of nonsense is what breeds it. You guys are a complete disgrace. And I don't know what it is that Kanye was actually trying to portray, if there was some kind of artistry to his madness. Because, he's always trying to do stuff for delivering a meaning or a message. It wouldn't be the first. And I'm thinking, what is this? Okay, once upon a time, Black slaves used to be paraded about butt naked for the world to gawk at while the slave owners used to try and, bid for them on who had the biggest dingaling for their stud farms. I don't know what is going on, if this is an inversion, but time and place, Kanye. I mean, yeah, okay, it's Black History Month. I don't know what the hell he's up to. But all I know, it was distasteful, it was disgusting, and it just looked like exploitation, which is why the press is going to come down on Kanye and say that he's the reason why this girl is behaving like this, and she is the fragile white female who is under the manipulative, black magic. She's under the black magic, or the BB magic, the BBD, BBC, whatever, magic. Just stop. Stop. So, of course, Shanzia brought the fashion. She was looking absolutely amazing, glamorous. Her dress was saying 110. You understand? Yes, she looked really glamorous, really beautiful, well put together, as always. I mean, come on, it's Shanzia. And of course, we had our Vibes Cartel there with Sidem. Why, Sidem, when it comes to fashion, I'm not think fashion Sidem. Or Sidem see fashion. But, I just think that this girl just likes it plain and simple and conservative. She was just there in a black dress. There was nothing much to really talk about. Vibes Cartel was there in his suit as usual. He's looking more and more like his original self as he improves with his health. Our artist came out, but hello, all of that money we want to spend and all them nice clothes and all of the things them we're on an experience, and still none of them walked away with a Grammy, right? It's kind of disappointing, but hello, we're talking about Bob Marley here, and I kind of don't think you had much of a chance when it came to One Love and Bob Marley, because we all know that it was the movie that inspired this win in the reggae category. And I just don't think you guys are actually reggae artists. You are dancehall artists. Shenzia is a mix of dancehall and pop and other stuff, and they are looking for that authentic reggae sound for this category. And I don't think that trap dancehall and dancehall really cuts it in terms of international acceptance on the levels of Bob Marley. Now, we all know that he has been crowned, Vibes Cartel has been crowned the king of dancehall by Bounty Killer himself. But are they, are the Grammy experts actually recognizing dancehall as a significant category of reggae music? Are they separating that from the bandish type of sounds, the guitar, the drums, and stuff of reggae that was in its pure form? Dancehall is about digitalized electronic music, and really and truly, the two of them are two different ilks from the same source. And I think that it's about time the Grammys start to distinguish between dancehall and reggae. Me personally, so that they're not competing with the genre and fellow in terms of their bedfellows, but they're not the same. You understand? So it's a shame, really. But hey, what can we say? Big up to Bob Marley. Wait a minute. Hello? One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. I want to do that. Bob Marley for the win. Yeah. So, Spice and the church have been going at it. As you know, Spice had her own school tour detoured by many schools in the island of Jamaica because the church started to basically get involved and say, listen, she is not a good role model at all. So we know that as a result of that, Spice has clapped back, saying that, listen, there is no way people should be judging her on the basis of her character that she plays in the dance hall, which is separate from who she is as Grace. The public is split when it comes to this whole dichotomy of personalities and considers basically the fact that Spice you sing a whole heap of dirty dancehall song with some skin out business and about your front, and nobody no really want to hear all of that and hear the kids them singing that kind of stuff or looking up to it as some kind of role model to emulate. Well, while the other side are saying Spice is doing a good thing, her actual message when it comes to the Ono tour is about the ability of asserting oneself against any kind of peer pressure and, basically saying no when it comes to temptations to do things that are beyond your years. This includes making sure that you are focusing on your schoolwork, maintaining abstinence, making wise decisions when it comes to peer pressure so that you do not get caught up in the things that your peers are doing wrongfully at their young age. Nothing really wrong with the message. The message was great. But as we've already discussed here on this platform, the actual Ono song had some pretty explosive lyrics, which would have been considered quite mature. As in, I would have want my fitness in that. Either way you take it, the love and popularity that you have for Spice out there is known. And children and young people look up to this lady. And she will have a great impact on getting through to minors because they tend to listen to their favorite artists more than anybody else. Music is indeed extremely influential. So Muma reached out to the Ministry of Education as well as Olivia Babsy Grange, who is the Minister of Entertainment and Culture, where she seemed to have gained some leverage and turned things around between herself and the church. So the person who had a lot to say about this initially was, in fact, Apostle Jeffrey Shuttleworth. Now, Apostle Shuttleworth was the one who said, under no circumstance should Spice be allowed to enter into schools because she's a poor role model, and that the Ono song was not supposed to be in schools under no circumstance, and that it represented nothing that we want young people to aspire to. Anyway, after the fact that she has gained leverage with Minister Babsy Grange on her side, and she has managed to come to a middle ground with the church where she can now go forward, according to what Minister Grange said in her interview with the press, it looks as though Apostle Jeffrey Shuttleworth is not backing down. In fact, today he did a whole live on Freedom Come Ministries channel where he broke down exactly what his issues were with somebody like Spice entering our Jamaican schools. Such a tour. So I'm going further now. This has nothing to do with the individual, but it has to do with defilement. So it applies to anyone, including a pastor who has fallen from grace. Right. And it's not turn away from the sinful, inappropriate behavior. While much of it may have been done in secret, and I'm talking about a so-called pastor, man or woman of God, and that person continues to function in ministry by interacting with the constituency, be it the church or congregation, But I have to say this though. Listen to his arguments. He's talking about the fact that you will end up with, a pastor or somebody who has fallen from grace. And they continue to do their service in the church, to their community, to the church body, be it that they're praying for them, putting their hands on them, going through all of the religious doctrines and stuff, and the procedures with the people, and they are in fact full of sin, so they are then defiling the body of Christ. So anybody who falls underneath them and are taking tutoring from them, knowledge from them, prayers from them, are themselves going to end up defiled in the spirit. Grace Hamilton now come preach to nobody. She not lay her hand on nobody. She not pray for nobody. And if she did, but I mean, she isn't. That's not the purpose of the tour. She's actually there. She's actually there to pass on a message, to talk as a speaker, a motivational speaker. And are you running these kind of spiritual checks with every person that goes into school to give a speech? I could come dressed to the nines in a suit with absolutely no background in dancehall already. Speaky spoken like I am. And I can be full of sin. Cause you don't know said teacher care bad girl. But I'm just saying, right? You put somebody who you have no idea what their background is, and you put them there to talk to children, thinking that they're coming from a background of positive image and self worth, that they are spiritually cleansed, and therefore they will not be defiling the children based on what you know of them superficially. But behind closed scenes, they are in fact a dirty piece of work. Come on now, Pastor. It is because Spice's career is up front and center and out there that you know what her sins are. You know what they are, so you can now use them to judge her. You are using the case of a man of God or woman of God that has fallen from position to justify your reasoning when Grace is not in that position at all. She's not there as somebody who's there to win souls. All she's trying to do is to give the children positive self talk and coping mechanisms in the face of a tempting world. As a woman who has experienced, who has been there and done that, to let them know that there are better life chances if you resist. That message can come from anybody. It can come from anybody. So to use defiling, which according to the Bible is. So in the Bible, defile means to make something unclean, dishonored, and desecrated. It can also be used figuratively to describe a conscience or heart that has been corrupted by sin. But here you have got somebody who, as you have more or less insinuated, is a sinner, coming to talk to children about how to avoid sin. Does not make the person unworthy of sharing such a message, nor does it make the person a spreader of defilement. I think that you are looking at it in terms of actually sexual sins, right? And the fact that you are identifying Spice's lyrics with that particular type of defilement. Now, she's not there to promote that part of her career to the children. She's there to actually alert them to not fall for sexual sins. So I am a bit confused as to where you're coming from. But he or she would expose those who are being influenced by him or her to even greater defilement. That is the issue, friends. We have to understand that even though we try to fool ourselves, such as the artist in question, we live one life. Let me say that one more time. One life. Hmm. We cannot divide ourselves into many parts. We think so. Yes. In our mind. Yes. It's true. So if I call myself mango tree. Yeah, and he went on. Yeah, he started talking about if I'm a mango tree and then you're, I don't remember if it's some tree, coconut tree, whatever. One day I come dressed up as a coconut tree, another day I come. We get the point. He's basically talking, and we did speak about this, that there's no way the church is going to accept this paradox of character where you have Grace Hamilton and you have got Spice. They are going to see it as an oxymoron, basically two opposites
opposite parts of the whole personality coexisting side by side. They're not going to separate it. And it's not surprising that the church is going to take this approach, right? Spiritually, it would have been aligned with some kind of demonic possession if they were to ever look deeply into it on a spiritual level. And they would consider that to be not of God. This does not surprise me at all. But be it that they accept it as a result of their faith or not, we all know that characters in the entertainment industry are often very separate and apart from the person that is portraying the character. And while I'm not justifying this as acceptable, it is understandable because we have got actors, actresses who perform to do different things, but in real life, they wouldn't necessarily do that, right? However, you have got to admit they would not take on certain roles if they weren't brave enough to actually do that or could see themselves doing it. And there is an element of self in everything that we portray. No matter how much we try to say that it's separate, I do understand where the pastor is coming from, that it is part and parcel of the same person, right? But we also understand that in the entertainment industry, this is the normality. And if it can be accepted where other popular people, Naomi Campbell, can come into schools and do things. Just think about it. Naomi Campbell did a whole charity that aimed to help people living in poverty in disaster areas in Jamaica, as well as other places, only to end up being under a 3-year inquiry for serious mismanagement of funds and misconduct in terms of ethics in charities. So, her nature did not come across as one that could defile, because defiling is not just on a physical sexual nature. It's also in terms of your defiled conscience, not knowing how to separate right from wrong means that you are defiled and you are therefore capable of defilement. So you are willing to allow people like this to come into organizations where children are present, adults are present, and give their charitable acts, not knowing what's going on behind the scenes, but yet. And you can separate the fact that Naomi literally used to walk around half naked on stage when she's doing her fashion shows. You don't have a problem with that, because, hey, that's what models do. Do you see what I'm saying? There is a kind of slight hypocrisy as to how different people are being handled as opposed to a dance hall female artist.
And when it comes to entertainment crossing over with religion, it's bound to lead to even more controversy. Anyway, this is your girl, Head Teacher K, and don't forget to do the things them. Like up the video, hit the share button, and if you are new to my channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell so that you are notified anytime I upload new content. This is your girl, Head Teacher K. What is on my nose? I'm out.